Everyone thinks that AI is going to just make developers faster, but that's not really the most important shift that's happening. The best developers of the future won't be the ones who can code the fastest. Yeah, and that's the thing. This is Neptune Talks, where we share short insights on SAP execution and innovation. Today, we're diving into how AI is fundamentally changing the role of the application developer, especially in the SAP world. It's not about speed. It's about a total shift in focus from execution to intent.
Right. And that's a huge distinction. For years, the whole job was execution. A developer was a builder. Their value was in writing clean code, debugging complex issues, just turning a set of requirements into working software.
It was a craft of precision and control, but it was also built on a mountain of manual effort. That's the old way. Now, we're moving to a model where the developer defines the outcome they want, the intent, and AI handles huge parts of the execution.
Mm-hmm. The things that used to take up most of their time. We're talking about code generation, setting up integration scaffolding, automated testing, even generating documentation.
Exactly. The things that were once the biggest bottlenecks are just not the bottlenecks anymore. This is a real shift in abstraction, so the problem to solve is no longer the technical execution.
The new bottleneck is clarity of intent. It's about deeply understanding what the business needs and why, and being able to translate that into a clear directive for the AI.
And that completely changes the role. The developer stops being just the builder and becomes an orchestrator. It's a powerful concept.
So instead of being down in the weeds writing code line by line, they're operating at a higher level. Is that the idea?
That's exactly it. They define the desired outcomes, they guide the AI, and most importantly, they validate the results to make sure everything aligns with the broader system architecture and business goals.
So their value moves away from the pure act of producing code and towards understanding complex systems, making strategic decisions, and really owning the end-to-end outcome.
And this becomes especially critical in environments like SAP. I mean, we're not talking about simple greenfield apps here.
Not at all. SAP systems are the operational backbone of the enterprise. They represent decades of accumulated business logic, processes, and crucial customizations.
And because of that, changing them has always been incredibly difficult, expensive, and frankly risky. You don't want to break the backbone.
So the obvious hope is that AI will just simplify all of that it can untangle that complexity for us.
I think that's a common misconception. I would argue that AI doesn't magically remove the complexity. All that crucial business logic is still there, and it's there for a good reason.
Okay, that's a fair challenge. So if it doesn't remove the complexity, what exactly is its role? How does it help?
It changes how developers deal with that complexity. Instead of needing to manually navigate every single layer and table, they can use AI to interact with the system at a higher level.
To discover what's there, extend core processes, and build new applications on top of that solid foundation more effectively.
But, and this is the absolute key, it only works if there is a clear human-led understanding of how everything fits together. The AI can execute, but it still needs that direction from the orchestrator.
This brings to mind that eye in the sky analogy. The developer is no longer buried in the code. They're looking at the system from above.
Right. From that viewpoint, they can understand the data flows, the system dependencies, and the business outcomes. They decide where to intervene and, just as importantly, where to let automation take over.
They're guiding, not just doing. That requires a completely different skill set.
It's much less about knowing the specific syntax of a programming language and far more about systems thinking. It's about designing solutions that deliver real business value.
But this all points to a massive challenge for organizations. AI is incredibly easy to experiment with on a small scale. A developer can spin up a proof of concept in an afternoon, but it's incredibly hard to operationalize.
That is the critical problem. Without the right platform, proper governance, and tight integration into core systems like SAP, all those little experiments lead to chaos. You get fragmentation.
What does that fragmentation actually look like? It means multiple teams using different unsanctioned tools, right?
Exactly, which results in inconsistent outputs, massive security and compliance risks because nothing is centrally managed, and ultimately, very little real impact on the business. It's a lot of activity with no forward motion.
So just having smart developers with this new orchestrator skill set isn't the whole answer.
No, I don't think it is. The real opportunity isn't just in the AI models themselves, but in how they are safely and effectively embedded into the entire application development process.
You need an environment where AI can operate within all the enterprise constraints, security, governance, data privacy, while still delivering the speed and flexibility that makes it so promising.
And that's where a platform that unifies development, integration, and execution becomes absolutely critical. It can't be just another tool you add to the pile.
It has to be the foundation on which this new way of working is built. It's like in hi fi audio. The goal isn't to add more sound, it's to remove everything that gets in the way of the original signal, to remove the distortion.
And a unified platform with embedded AI removes that friction. It closes the gap between the business idea and the technical execution.
And lets developers focus on what really matters, designing great solutions instead of the mechanics of getting there. You can see some really powerful real world use cases of this on neptunesoftware.com.
So that really brings us to the core of it. The key takeaway is the developer's role is shifting from a hands-on builder to a high-level orchestrator. But this evolution can't succeed in a vacuum. It requires both a new skill set focused on systems thinking and, just as importantly, a unified enterprise platform to operationalize AI safely and effectively.
If you want more short insights like this on SAP, follow Neptune Talks. And if you want to explore more, you can visit neptunesoftware.com.